Fort Meigs was built in the middle of the Great Black Swamp. The Great Black Swamp stretched 110 miles. Anything north of the Maumee River is considered British-held territory. Anything south of the Maumee River is considered American-held territory. Now, this fort is 10 acres in size, so it's almost 10 football fields that fit inside of it. It is consisted of a stockaded wall made of pickets. Those are individual logs sunk 3 feet into the ground. They're 15 feet tall. It takes 3,000 logs just to make up the walls here at Fort Meigs. They built this entire fortification in the winter by hand in 3 months. Knew that if he allowed the Americans to continue to build this fort and occupy this fort and amass men and supplies here, eventually they're coming after him and they're going to invade Canada. So he decided instead on a preemptive strike. He wanted to come down here and capture Fort Meigs. They landed a force of about 2,400 men, comprised of British regular soldiers, Canadian militia, and Native American warriors, about 2 miles northwest or northeast of here at an old abandoned fort called Fort Meigs, and the ruins are still there over in Maumee. They landed late April of 1813, came down here and reconnoitered the fort. They saw men with muskets and rifles on the walls. They saw cannon bristling all. British, when they leave Fort Meigs after the second siege, don't return to Fort Malden. They go down to Fremont, Ohio, and they attack Fort Stephenson there. And they actually do attack that in a frontal assault. About 300 British regulars march across an open field, get up to the dry ditch in front of the fort, jump into the ditch, and realize they don't have their scaling ladders with them. And as they're trying to scramble out of that ditch, the Americans unmask an artillery piece and they rake fire down that ditch and inflict massive casualties on the British, and they are forced to retreat back into Canada. About a month after that, Oliver Hazard Perry takes on the British Navy at the Battle of Lake Erie near Put-in Bay, and he defeats the British Navy on Lake Erie. That forces the British to withdraw further into Canada. General Harrison then follows with his troops into Canada and finally defeats the British Army at the Battle of the Thames in October of 1813. And with that, they also kill Tecumseh in that fighting, and that shatters the Indian Confederacy that was allied with the British, and it secures this area in American control.